What's up, Sean? Well, today sorry, I'm not feeling too well today, but I decided to go ahead and make this video anyways. I decided I'd do a live so it's faster, but it's pretty much responding to a video that Coding Face uploaded. Um, I just saw it, so I don't know if he just uploaded it or if he did it like yesterday or something. But I just saw it, and it was a very interesting topic. It was how much is too low for a junior developer starting salary, especially when you have no experience. Um, so yeah, that's what I'm. Yes, how much is too low? That is what I'm gonna be talking about today. I'm sorry that I'm really sick. I don't have the best setting or the best background, nor do I look the best. I'm just wearing my hat for when I used to deliver pizza. um, but I just saw that video and I think it was a very good topic for me to put my 2 cents in and respond to that video by Coding Face. So somebody just asked me, I have less than a year of marketing experience. Can I ask for more? I don't know what you mean by ask for more, man. I'm sorry. Um, so, all right, so let's get right into the topic. So, he was talking about how he got an Coding Face, or Joe from Coding Face was talking about how he got an email from somebody that just got a job offer, somebody that wants to be a junior developer and they have no experience. Now, that email, well, that offer that that person was given or offered, um, it was for $11 an hour. Yes, $11 an hour for a software developer job or a web development job, whatever you want to call it. Now, what are my 2 cents on that? Um, in that, my opinion is $11 an hour. First of all, let me say that I'm old. I'm 100%, and if you guys follow my channel, you guys know that I'm 100% for sacrificing and 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 basically I'm all okay with going through a rough path um, as long as in the end you get a bigger prize. A lot of you guys know my story and you guys know the struggle that I went through by quitting basically my jobs and all that stuff to be able to concentrate as a developer and only working on the weekends making very little money. So obviously I'm a big proponent of sacrificing in order for basically the greater good at the end. So what I have to say about this $11 an hour, I think how much is too low is almost like a mathematical equation in which you have a couple of variables and then you can do that math. Um, and then you know if it's too low or if it's not too low for you. So the first thing one of the things that you want to consider when wondering if it's too if to determine how much is too low is how much are you making now? How much are you making now? Because the reason is plain and simple. It is that if you're working, um, I don't know. When I was in San Francisco this last year, I saw that people working at the burger place. What's it called? The burger place there, In and Out. People working at In and Out, they had ads that they were paying $16 an hour for that. So if you live in San Francisco and you're working at In and Out for $16 an hour, and then for some reason the first opportunity that you get as a web developer is $16 an hour, then I would say go ahead and do it. Why? Because um, you're not losing any money, and at the same time you're gaining experience. So it's a pretty simple math. I'm getting the same amount of money every paycheck, and I'm getting more experience as a developer. even though $16 an hour is not, it's not like a good salary at all for a developer. But if you're not losing anything, you have nothing to lose. You have only experience to gain by taking it. Now, the situation that this kid had in the email that he sent to Joe from Cutting Face was that the job was offering him $11 an hour, but he was already making $18 an hour doing something else. Now, this is what I have to say about that. To not beat around the bush, I would. It all obviously depends on a lot of circumstances, and I pretty much agree with this and with Joe on this. It depends on a lot of circumstances. It depends how much, how tired are you for money right now? Do you have a family to maintain and all that stuff? But in more situations than not, I would not. That's almost laughable. $11 an hour for a developer. I'm sorry, but that's almost laughable. Again, I'm all for sacrificing at the beginning and do everything in your power to get that first job. But come on, $11 an hour. The, and the reason why I say that's almost laughable. It is not only because it's like little money. Like that's only, believe it or not, that's a very small part of the mathematical equation. How little money $11 an hour is for a software developer. But sorry. Um, so the money is not even the biggest part. The the biggest part is that there is no serious company that can tell you with a straight face, we're gonna pay you $11 an hour as a developer. I mean, they're straight up telling you you're worth less than a forklift driver. You're worth less than somebody that's packing boxes at a factory. You're worth less than a mechanic. You're worth less than almost every other profession out there. I mean, the jobs that are paying like $11 an hour are usually the jobs that you just kind of like, you just gonna apply to, and you don't really have to have a skill or have a craft that you master. So if a company's telling you $11 an hour, they're pretty much straight up telling you to your face that they think you're worth less than that. And the reason why I say that it's not even about the money is because the problem that I have with that is that if you were getting offered $11 an hour, but you were gonna work, I'm gonna use an extreme example like how I have to do. If you were gonna go work at Google or at Amazon, or it doesn't even have to be that big of a company, or Nike, or um, or a nice supermarket chain close to your area. You know what I mean? A even a like what people call a dev shop, which is kind of like an agency, where they do like third party work. If you were gonna work at one of those places, then maybe you would consider it kind of, because the experience that you would get would be like so worth it. Like, okay, I'm only getting paid $11 an hour, but after I do 6 months there, after I do a year there, I'm set. I'm completely set. I have all the experience that I need, and my career is just gonna take off from there. But the reality is, if that is a company is kind of like ignorant enough to offer you $11 an hour to be a developer, it's probably not a good company that has any name for themselves. It's probably not a company where any good developers work. You know, I'm sorry, that's just the truth. Because if they had any good developers, they know that the real good ones are getting paid over 100K, and they know that the okay ones are getting paid less than that, but not like $11 an hour less than that. So it's probably a company that doesn't even have a good developer culture or anything like that. So I'm all for getting that experience. I'm all for sacrificing, but I just don't see the point of sacrificing um, for something that's not gonna pay it off at the end. I just feel like the experience that you would get for a company that's willing, for a company that can tell you with a straight face $11 an hour for a developer, even if it's a junior, probably whatever experience you get there, it's not gonna be worth it. It's not gonna be worth it probably. So I would so because it's a mathematical equation, like I said, and it's not only a yes or no answer. What I would consider in that case is how much are you making now? Period. You want to be a developer, and let's say you're working at a warehouse, and you're getting paid. Um, I don't know. You're getting paid 11.50 an hour, right? Working at a warehouse, maybe. And that's probably a warehouse where the job is kind of easy because most warehouse pay more than that. Um, but you're working at a warehouse getting paid like 11.50 an hour, and then somebody offers you a job as a developer for 11, then at that point you might consider it because the money is not that different, and then at least you will be getting some experience. It might be experience that might not be like the best experience as working at a good company, because again, I just don't believe that a good company would would tell you with a straight face they want to offer you $11 an hour as a developer. But again, it might not be the best experience, but at the same time, what do you have to lose? You probably hate your warehouse job anyways. I know when I worked those jobs, I hated I hated them so much. So I'm sorry, guys. I don't feel well at all. I just wanted to speak on this topic so bad, while it was still fresh. But yeah, so at the end of the day, if you're not taking any financial loss, um, at least some experience, even if it's not the best experience, is better than none. So I would take it then. But if you're doing something else, I don't know whatever it is. Maybe you're a manager somewhere like this guy was, and he's getting paid $18 an hour. Going back to 11, man, like come on, like I would not recommend it. And the reason is again, not only because of the money. You guys know that I'm all for sacrificing. It's because of what type of company would that be. All right, so let me read some of the comments that people have, some of the questions people have asked. So this guy, Fernando Castano, says, I'm trying to get a web developer job. I have less than a year in marketing. It was only 4 months. Is it too much to ask for 80K for a first job? Bro, I don't really understand that question. You're talking about marketing and web development? I don't know. I just don't understand the question. And you want to be a developer? You want to be in marketing? I don't understand the question. 80K for a first job? I think that maybe sounds a little high. Um, for a developer, again, talking about marketing, I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry. I wish I understood your question better. How long would you stay at that low paying job in order to move on? Sure, if I were to take that low paying job because the circumstances were right in my mathematical equation and I was not really losing that much, so I decided to take it, even though I think it's probably a bad company. Um, I don't know. I would try not to stay there that long. Honestly, at that point, I'd be kind of like cutting faces. I would just get the job, and as soon as I get it, try to look for another one. Honestly, because I mean, $11 an hour for a developer. That's less than I make delivering pizzas right here. All right. Did the person offer $11 an hour? Did he have a portfolio? I don't know, honestly. I don't know all the details. Uh, but even if you didn't have a portfolio, you you know, even if you didn't have a portfolio, if you're hiring to be a developer, it's because you think he can at least kind of do the job. So I'm not saying that you have to go and pay him like somebody that just got out of school. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that you have to pay him $30 an hour, which is like what somebody that just get out of school as a junior developer probably gets paid starting out. So I'm not saying you have to go and pay them $30 an hour, uh, plus. But at the same time, you know, 11. Come on. Even with no portfolio, like if you're hiring, it's because you think he has some type of knowledge. Like at $11 an hour, you're basically saying like he has no skill whatsoever. You're basically saying that you are an unskilled person. Omar, I got my first job and I work 3 days a week, $30 an hour. Man, I'm happy for you, man. Thank you for sharing your story. That's great. $30 an hour. See, that's more like it. That's more like it. Now, like Cutting Face says, even though like you might see online that like a junior developer job starting out is around $30 an hour. That's around like the normal uh, price. You also gotta understand that if you don't even have that computer science degree, you might have to take a loss. A loss. In the end, it would all paid off. So I'm fine. I'm fine with making less money to get that experience at a nice company. But again, $11 an hour. Okay, there's a difference between not paying market rate or just like being insulting almost. Okay, let me see what other question. But I've learned a lot. Do you think 6 months on the job is enough time for me to look for a higher paying position? Man, I don't know. I I personally kind of don't think so, but that's just because of my experience. At least in my position, my first job that I got, I had it for a whole year before I moved to a different company, and at the 6 months mark, I don't think I was able to go to another company as of like an experienced developer. So I don't know. Maybe you're a lot smarter than me, and maybe only in those 6 months you have become like a really good full stack developer or something. In my case, that wasn't the case. In my case, the 6 months, I was still kind of like, uh, I wouldn't feel like I was being truthful if I were to apply to another company as an experienced developer. Uh, After that 1 year mark, that's when I was a little more confident. But that's for me. Maybe you might have different circumstances. I will be homeless in $11 per hour, man. Yeah, Josh. Josh said he will be homeless if he was to get paid $11 per hour. And honestly, that is the truth. Especially if you live like in a big city, like New York City or or places that are a little more expensive or not that expensive, like Florida. Um, Obviously, San Francisco, LA, all those places with $11 an hour, you don't make it. That's why I literally was in San Francisco last summer, and literally all the fast food places have signs. Well, actually, I take that back. Not all the fast food places. All the in and outs that I went to had signs that they were hiring for $16 an hour starting out. I actually think I took some pictures of that. I won't be able to show it because this is a live video and I'm not editing it. But um, to me that was crazy. But at the same time, those are very expensive cities. What are some web dev agencies you would recommend for a new developer? I don't know. I'm sorry, man. I'm not. I don't know any agencies or anything like that. Do you have any other media we can follow you on? We can talk to you. Yeah, bro. In all of my videos, well, almost all of them, I usually leave my Instagram, my LinkedIn. I usually talk to everybody on LinkedIn. And I'm sorry if I haven't responded to you this week. I just been really sick. The only reason I'm making this video is because I thought it was a very important topic that probably a lot of my audience would find interesting. While I was looking for a web developer job, I kept getting marketing offers and took a marketing job. I quit the job after 4 months and I'm currently looking for a React and Node job. Hey, I just got accepted. Well, um, well, cool for you, man. Cool. Then Ray the Best says, "Hey Omar, just got accepted to a coding bootcamp, at a very good university. Oh, that's interesting that you are at a boot camp at a university. I never seen those before. Usually the boot camps are like the enemies of university, at least in my area, because they're the ones that are usually telling you don't need to spend money on the university, just come here instead." Oh my God, I'm sorry. Booked on a very good university. Where should my mindset be right now? And also, as soon as I finish finding jobs, they will offer career services in 6 months. Man, your mindset is learn, bro. Simple as that. If you're at a bootcamp, what should your mindset be? Learn and build things. Build things. That's the main thing, in my opinion. That's what helped me get my first job, just building things and showing people. Hey, do you have any tips on setting up a portfolio? What do you use? I honestly am not the best. I would just say follow cutting face advice for setting up a portfolio. Make useful things, and it's better to have like one good app or a good game rather than have like a million bullcrap apps like uh, calculator, to do list, and all that stuff. Saca las empanadas, mijo. What the hell does that mean? I just got an internship at Shopify. They're paying $35 an hour. $11 an hour is not it at all. Yeah, give me 1 second. I have to blow my nose. I'm sorry. That's what happens when you're sick. All right. Sorry about that. I hope that you guys admire the dedication. Okay. So this guy said that he got an internship for $35 an hour. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if that's good. I mean, you're with Shopify. That's a known company. That's a serious company. Wherever you go, you say you worked at Shopify. That's a company that everybody's gonna know, and everybody's gonna be like, okay, bro, you got some real experience. So companies like that where you're gonna get the experience that matter. They're not out here paying $11 an hour. It's just not realistic. It's just laughable. I'm sorry, it's just laughable. Again, for those of you that missed the first part of the video, I'll mention it again. It's a mathematical equation. It's a mathematical equation. The only way that you would take such a low paying job like that is if you are, for a developer. And actually, $11 an hour is a low paying job regardless, not even just for a developer, regardless. The only way you would take that job is if you're getting paid about the same or less doing something that you hate. And then you can take that job, go to that crappy ass company that can tell you with a straight face they're gonna offer you $11 an hour, and you're probably gonna get some experience, maybe some bad experience, but at least it is something, and at least you'll be developing, um, rather than doing something you totally hate. But again, if you have to take a huge pay cut to go and do that, bro, just keep hustling and get you a better company. Now you might have to relocate because I mean that could also be the case. Maybe you're in an area where it's like a bunch of people that don't know anything about technology. They don't even understand the value of the internet or whatever. So those might be the business owners in your area if you live like in a rural or semi-rural area. So you might have to relocate. Crap, I had to relocate for my first job, but at least it was at a good company at a decent starting salary. So, what interview questions were you asking your job interviews? Um, I'm sorry, man. I don't have time to get into that right now. But you can look online for a lot of interview questions. But actually, you know what? Let me just answer that. What a lot of companies do is that they have you do like a coding challenge. In my case, for my first job, the guy was like super super cool. So instead of like doing a coding challenge or anything, we sat on a computer side by side and we programmed together. And you know, he was able to get a better understanding of where my skills were by sitting side by side and programming together. But a lot of other companies, what they do is they send you they send you a challenge for you to solve. They send you like a problem, and basically they ask you how you're gonna solve that problem with code. How much HTML, CSS, and JavaScript would you say is enough to start applying for front end jobs? I would say at least make sure that you can build apps. At least, even if it's just like apps that only use the front end. So maybe they call an API, so that you're not building the APIs yourself. All right, guys. I'm really sick, because you guys can tell. So thank you guys for watching. Uh, for you guys that missed the beginning of the video, it should be like in here eventually for you guys to watch. Just wanted to put my 2 cents in, and go and tell Coding Phase that I made this response. All right, see you guys. Bye.